What's going on, everybody? So I just got back from work and I'm here to bring you more videos. Now, the thing is, I'm going to be pumping out a lot more videos. So if you guys, like I said in the other videos, if you have any questions about any specific things, let me know. All right. Let me know. Now, I'm going to give an example of one of those specific things in this video so I could show you exactly what I mean by when they use numbers, messages, symbols, etc. And I'm going to use 9/11 as an example because if you look into 9/11, obviously there's a lot of shady stuff in there, and it's pretty well known that it could be a conspiracy, allegedly, right? But I'm going to show you a lot of things that makes it so that you see with numbers and patterns and all that type of stuff that it's not a coincidence. Okay? Anyways, first thing I want to do is go down to my comment section. And I'm loving all a lot of people are showing support, saying keep going, thank you, Clippers. Feel like this one right here, was pretty funny to me. I was like, feel like there's something you're not saying or that you have more to say. Brother, I have a lot to say. I'll be honest with you, I have a lot to say. And it's not only with this specifically, like the David situation is just kind of the catalyst of me starting to want to talk about things about this, like about occult meanings and secret societies and ancient culture, ancient knowledge, numerology, astrology. And the thing is, those type of things get a bad rap. You know what I mean? They get a bad, basically an impression on those things. So when someone says numerology, if you're not really open-minded, you just instantly kind of shut it down. It's kind of like how back in the day, if you were a conspiracy theorist, you would be instantly shut down. It'd be like, oh, this guy just believes this, this, and that, and whatever, right? But nowadays, people are very more open-minded. People are very open to conspiracies, and people are waking up to the fact that this is not everything as it seems. I want to point out to this comment here, not because it's a negative comment, but something that the reason I'm just going to answer your question. I think they're just funny. You know what I mean? Like, I don't take these personal, so I'm just going to heart it for you. But I'm just saying, like, the reason why I'm going to address this one is because I want you to understand why it is important. You understand? So maybe they're not going to watch this video, but for the people that do watch me and watch this channel, and for those of you that like wait for the videos and like want more videos, I'm going to show you why this is important if you didn't catch it. All right. So when I said 773 is a super prime, that was just the amount of days from the release of the song. If you go back to the video, you have to kind of watch it, of when Super Blood Moon came out. That was when it was released. And from the day of when the Super Blood Moon ended and when the girl was found, Celeste was found, was exactly 773 days, 20, or you could call it 25 months and 11 days. The thing is, 773 is a prime number. And when you break it down, how many prime, like basically 2 is a prime number, 3 is a prime number, 5 is a prime number, 7 is a prime number. Basically, it cannot be divided besides divisible to 1. So, since this is a prime number, this is the 137th prime number, right? But also, 137 is also a prime number. So, it's the 33rd prime number. You get it? So, if that is the case, then this becomes a super prime number, like the super blood moon. Now, the thing is, you're probably wondering, and then you say right here, there's nothing symbolic about what you're saying. It's just pure schizophrenic, whatever. Take your meds. And that's totally fine. It's not troll bait, brother. This is not troll bait. And I'm going to show you exactly how they do this with the perfect example of using 9/11 as an example. And I can actually show you a bunch of more examples. I'm going to try to make this short. I don't want to make it too long because a lot of people, I don't feel like, or would watch the whole entire thing, because at the end of the day, it's just me ranting, and it's, I guess, not exactly everyone's cup of tea. If I'm going too slow, just speed up the video, and there you go. Anyways, let's start. The last thing I mentioned in my video, well, one of the things that I mentioned in one of my, I think it was my very first video that I posted about David, I pointed out how his name on Twitter, and also his name right here, has all fours in it, okay? So D is number 4, because A, B, C, D is the 4th letter. He has number 4. V is the 22nd letter. So if you just search it up, V is the 22nd, which means 2 plus 2 equals 4. So there's another 4 right here. Then he has another D, which is a 4. Now, he puts 2 more D's right here, right? So there is 4 D's here, right? 4 and then 4V, right? Okay. So all 4s. There's every single letter here and number is basically 4. All right. Now, if you go to his last post, that is the day of the birthday of Celeste, which is the girl that was found dead in his Tesla. If you also notice in this picture, there's 4 people here, and he is basically the one going by the withered flowers that are dying. But there's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? Also here's 4. Get it? So, also, if you notice right over here, even the way they put the wordings, there is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the last one is frontline. You get it? Now, the thing is, you probably wonder, oh, but this is not 4, man. It's not 4. That's not how it works. Listen, right here, see Goku? He puts this as a banner. And it's probably like, oh, he just likes anime. He just likes Goku. Who doesn't like Goku? Yeah, but this is Super Saiyan 4. You see? Super Saiyan 4. And by the way, the Super Saiyans usually go off the lunar energy. That's basically what it is. Lunar, moon, the moon cycles. Okay? Listen. This is how exactly they do it. He picked Super Saiyan 4 for a reason. He's also withered, as if he's decomposing in his picture right here on Twitter. Okay? Now here's the thing. I want to show you about the whole 9/11 thing so that you can understand what I mean. Now, this is going to get, obviously, controversial. Now, I just want to show you something, but I'm going to research it while I do it with you, okay? So the World Trade Center looked like Giants 11s, right? So when you look at the World Trade Center back then, obviously, if you remember how it looks, we just type it in, Twin Towers, of course, there were 2 of them, and it looks like Giant 11s. That's why on the Simpsons, they show the 9/11 magazine, and it says right there 9/11, and it says it's paying to go on the bus in New York, right? It's pretty simple. So September 11 also has 9 letters and 2 numbers. So if you just count it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and it has 2 letters. 9 plus 2 also equals 11, right? So September 11th is also the 254th day of the year. So if you want to double check that, just type in September 11, and right off the bat, it's going to tell you what day of the year it is. It should show, but ever since this AI thing, it's been acting weird. So day of the year. All right, it's the 254th day of the year. Okay, 2 plus 5 plus 4 equals 11. I made this so it's very simple for you guys to understand. After September 11th, there are 111 days left to the end of the year. Okay. Let me show you that. Right here. 111 days until the end of the year. Let me close these things because I already made my point with this. Let me just use this stuff. So anyways. So 11/9 is 1 plus, it's also equals 11. Americans put it as 9/11. Others put it as 11/9, which we'll get to actually. Which, by the way, that's when Trump was elected, was officially elected in 2016. Remember, we had to wait until the next day. It was on 11/8. We had to wait until the next day, and we found out on 11/9, which is the backwards of 9/11. And by the way, I'm going to have a video about that with Charlie, that recently what happened with him and how he's connected to 9/11 as well. That there's a reason why during this 9/11 that recently passed, you barely saw like things about 9/11. It was mostly about Charlie Kirk or whatever, you know? So rest in peace to him. Anyways, the number 911 is the United States telephone number for emergencies, obviously. So when you call 911, it's 911. But this is where it gets weird. Is 1968 is when it was created. I don't know when I was created, but 1968 is when it was created. So if we just go to when was 9/11, 911 made the emergency code. Oh my God, I hate when they do this. Anyways, but I'm showing you this raw. This is all like, you know, not filtered, not, you know, AI, nothing. See, 1968. Okay, so it's 1968. Now this is where there's a reason why this is important. I don't know if I say it over here, but I remember from the back of my head, so I'll explain. 1968 is also the same year. 1968 is the same year was when the World Trade Center was being built. That's when the construction began. Was the exact year of when 911 was made the emergency code. So the construction, if you go on Wikipedia, scroll down, and you'll see right over here, construction started. The first one right here was 1968, the same exact year that 911 was made the emergency code. You see? And it's not by coincidence. And guys, guess how many years is 1968 to 2001? It's pretty simple. If you just, I guess I can do it from here. Minus 1968. I guess it's not going to tell me, but it's 33 years, you see? So it's exactly 33 years. Now here it gets weirder. Remember, 9/11 was when the Pentagon also got hit. Do you remember? That was one of the attacks as well on that same day. The Pentagon, you know, got hit 9/11, right? So if you go and you check, and you'll see that the, you know, Pentagon which was Flight 77. Okay, we're gonna get into that, and I'll explain that too. By the way, George Bush, which was the president at the time, he actually graduated from Yale in 1968, which is the same exact year as well. And the reason why that's important is because in Yale, he actually versed George Bush verse, I forgot Kerry, right? Guys, I forgot his first name. Damn, it's not. I forgot it. John Kerry. Okay. Now the thing is, they're both in the Skull and Bones. They're both in Skull and Bones. Both George W. Bush and John Kerry were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale University. So they versed each other in the presidential election. They knew each other. You see that? They were secret society members. And actually, in one of the interviews that this, you go on YouTube and just type in like John Kerry interview. Okay. He tells, I don't know if the interview's still up. I kind of doubt it, but there was an interview that he did with secret society. Watch. Right here. Perfect. Hopefully I don't get copyright strike.
Bones, the secret society. It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go
I'm
on.
sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the web.
Number 322?
First of all, he's not the nominee. And, look, I look
Are
forward...
you prepared to lose?
No, I'm not going to lose.
You both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us?
Not much, because it's a secret.
Is there a secret handshake? Is there a secret code?
I wish there were something secret I could manifest.
322, a secret number?
There are all kinds of secrets, Tim, but one thing is not a secret. I disagree with this president's direction that he's taking the country. We can do a better job, and I intend to do it.
And we'll be watching. Be safe on the campaign trail. John Kerry, thanks for joining us. And we'll be right back.
By the way, that interviewer died I think a few weeks later, a few months, I forgot exactly, but people say that they got rid of him, let's just say. I don't know if that's true. But the point is that this is how it works. They know who are the ones who will be the next president. It's obvious that it was going to be George Bush. And to make it even more obvious is that there is a war going on. And usually when there's a war going on, a lot of people don't like to change presidencies mid-war. So, anyways, a lot of people have seen, I'm not going to get into that. Anyways, point is, let's go back to this. So, my point is, if you look at New York City, it has also 11 letters. The first plane to hit the towers was American Airlines Flight 11. Also, when you look at American Airlines, what do you notice? Double A. It starts at American Airlines 11. Again, there's another 11. American Airlines. Flight AA 11 had 92 people aboard. 92, again, 11. Flight AA 11 had 2 pilots and 9 attendants. Right again, 2 plus 9, 11. The flight number on the first plane to hit was Q33, New York. Okay? Hold on one second. So anyways, Flight 77 had 65 people aboard. 6 plus 5 is 11. The first fire engine at the scene lost 11 firemen. Each tower had 110 stories. Jeez, I can't type. Stories. It's still wrong, whatever. And then also if you divide it by 10, it's 11. Still, the 11 is right there in numerology. Zero does not count. Sometimes it does. Both towers together had 21,800 windows. 2 plus 1 plus 8, 11. The World Trade Center collapsed to 11 stories. New York was the 11th state of the Union. It still is. It's the 11th state. What does it all mean? Anything? Nothing? We don't know. Afghanistan, which we went to war, is 11 letters. This is something else. This has to do with religion. I can get into that. George W. Bush has 11 letters. Revelation 9:11 refers to Abaddon, which means ruin and destruction, a place of destruction. Okay? This is just a simple breakdown of what I'm trying to say when it comes down to numbers and why it means so much. Flight 93, which is a movie about it now, which is a Pentagon, I believe. Yeah, I think is this one. No, Flight 93 was one, I think the one that hit PA. It was Pennsylvania. Yeah, Shanksville. Okay. So look, if you check Flight 77, which is the Pentagon, okay? We just checked this one. Flight 77, right? What's the American meridian? I think if you, I don't know if it would actually show this, but goes on the 77 longitude. Let me see. Can't find this one. Whatever. Moving on. I'll make a video about this one. It has something to do with this. The 77 longitude. The meridian line. There it is. The coordinates for the Pentagon are approximately 77 west. Right there. Flight 77. It's not directly on the 77 meridian, but it is close to the 77 meridian. Alright? That's basically how it works. 77 right there again. Now the thing is, Flight 77 crashed into the Pentagon. Okay. Now here's where it gets a little weird and not coincidental, is that the Pentagon, when was it created? If you go over here, when did it start? Ground was broken, which means that they start construction. That's not the start of construction, but that's when they start, that's when they break the ground to start the construction. It's not the start of construction, it's when they ground break. And that was on September 11th in 1941. Okay? So, this is not a coincidence, guys. The same day that it ground broke, get it? The ground broke, which is the same thing that happened. It looked like right here, if you look at all the pictures, it just doesn't seem right. And a lot of people said that the way it impacted, it didn't seem plausible that it even could. I'm not going to go down the route of the conspiracy behind 9/11 because this has nothing to do with what the main, point of the video. What I'm trying to show you is that numbers has everything to do with how they build it. It's called master builders. The Freemasons actually are master builders. That's why a Mason is, construction, basically. When you look for a construction company, they're a Mason, right? So the thing is, when you look at, for example, if you look at, let me see, for example, 1 second. All right. Anyways, that's the whole point behind this. Another example is how artists are in this, is that, like Jay-Z, for example, the blueprint. Okay? If you look at the blueprint, which is basically, what does a blueprint mean in architect? It basically means to start a construction building, right? To build, a building. So Jay-Z had his 6th studio album, and it was released on September 11, 2001, the exact day of the attack. And it was through Rockefeller Records. Just like how Rockefeller basically was, part of the World Trade Center. He actually has a clock on his watch that has 9/11, I'm pretty sure. There's a picture of him on the magazine. Right here, this magazine. And if you were to zoom in, it has 9/11 on it. Can't see it that well, but basically, it is. And that was the interview about the construction of the World Trade Center. And the time of his watch is 9/11. Now, the thing is, the reason why I bring it up is because I just said Rockefeller, right? Rockefeller Records from Jay-Z, the blueprint. That's exactly how it works. He released it on the exact same day. Now the thing, and that's what I said, is the blueprint, they have it all lined up. They are the ones who create and destroy. Because listen, the way they think of this stuff in the occult and back in the day in the secret societies is that destruction is creation. When you destroy a city or when you destroy something, that is creating something. You get it? Destruction equals creation because it creates a new type of environment. So that's why there is wars, there's bombs, etc. Those things happen for a reason. They do it for destruction so that they can create again. I know it's sick, but this is how they do it. Anyways, so we're going to go and show you. I'm going to go and show you the reason why these things all add up when it comes down to certain things. I'm not saying 9/11 is connected to David or whatever. I'm showing you how these artists do these things based off numbers. Okay? That's all it is. And when you go down and you see how, you know, if you go to his stuff, if you notice his last reply was also on September 7. You see? Cat's Eye. Accepting the award for best push. And he says absolutely 8. For me, that sounds like he's saying 8. Absolutely 8. Like September 8th. That's kind of what I get from it. Maybe not. Maybe it is. I don't know. But the point is, guys, is that he knows what he's doing with this. But like, just think about it like this. Okay? This guy, I didn't even know about David. I didn't even know who this guy was. Okay? But then randomly, he just becomes a sensation overnight. The thing is, when you go and see, like, all the people that he already, you know, Benny Blanco, he's already done a lot of things with a lot of people. He's also the first person to have a, the Fortnite anthem. Dude, I cannot type around this time. It's like after work is like, I'm done. Fortnite anthem first person. All right. The first person was David. He's the first person to have a official Fortnite anthem. Now think about that. Just think about that. All of the artists in the world, all of them. Think about how Kai Cenat, a streamer, just had a, you know, he had a huge reveal of how he has a new Fortnite skin. Why didn't they pick any other artist, but they picked him to make it? They picked him out of all the people, and it was released. The song was released on September 3rd, 4 days before her birthday. You get it? 4, again, just like everything has to do with 4 with David. It's very obvious. He does this on purpose. And I personally think that this is just what I personally think is at this point, is that in order to get to the top, you have to do ritualistic sacrifice. You have to do something. You have to sacrifice something. You have to. It's a materialistic world. So if you want to get ahead in the materialistic world, you have to sacrifice something in the materialistic world. And the way they used to do it back in the day was that they would actually sacrifice goats, etc., children, all those type of things, blood, and usually it would have to do with blood. Now, here's another thing that I do want to get with you know, going around with David. He always bring caskets to the show, to his concerts. I don't know why, but he makes fans write letters to the dead. Bro, this is by far the most sick shit that you can ever come up with. You're writing letters to the dead, and you're bringing a casket to a concert. And by the way, most of these people that actually listen to him are like, you know, kids or teens. It's just a sick ritual. It's a sick ritual. And that's the way they get, you know, they go ahead in the game. This is all a game, basically. How can you have one of the biggest producers, someone who is connected to Selena Gomez, one of the biggest artists in the world, who is followed by a lot of people all over the world? I'm talking about all over the world, worldwide. Sensation. You know? They're all connected. Why do you think he's wearing the black star?
Take me to like...
Why do you think he wears that? It's not a coincidence. And no, it's not a pimple patch. You really think... No, he does this on purpose. It's part of his design. He's always wearing all black. He says that he loves gore more than the P word, which is like corn or whatever. He says this. He said that it was leaked. This is the reason why he has a casket there. The reason why he sells merch, and he used blood in his merch, like his shirts. He sold, like, you know, I don't know if it's real blood or not, but that's not the point. The point is the symbolism behind it. The point is to sell the actual symbolism. He's selling literally satanic stuff, and people buy it because it's cool. It's this and that and this and that, but it's not. It's actually very sick. But, you know, that's how it goes. I also want to point out that his album is coming out September 19. September 19. All right, that's 12 days after that girl's birthday. Also, something, by the way, she was 14 when she died. She wasn't 15. She was gonna be 15. She was found when she was gonna be 15. But technically, she was found at 14. And if that's the case, guess what? That's another 4. She was a teen 4. 14. Get it? Another 4 that he did. That he adds to his sick symbolism. The reason why I personally kind of starting to think that he brings a casket, not only is that, you know, he's connected with this thing, is because I'm starting to think it's kind of like a Romeo and Juliet type of ritual. And I know in Romeo and Juliet that she finds out that he dies, and then, like, you know, eventually, you know, she offs herself too. But I'm starting to think that because the Romeo and Juliet law, you know, the Romeo and Juliet law, whatever, it's like, oh, if they fell in love before, like, or whatever, like a certain age or whatever, there's a certain age gap that allows this type of people to date people under their age. You know, like a person between blah, 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 you know, like this and that, right? So the Romeo and Juliet, this is just a random theory that I'm throwing out there, is that Romeo and Juliet, you know, like the whole ending behind that, like the whole casket, she's like in a casket or whatever. Usually there's a play like that. And, you know, she basically sees that he's dead. And then, well, he thinks that she's dead. So then he kills him, you know, like he offs himself. And then she wakes up, and then she realizes he's dead. And then she just goes and drinks point, whatever, right? Something like that. See, like the point of this is that I kind of have a theory that since nothing is coming out yet, is that he might do some type of Romeo and Juliet thing. If you catch my drift, I can't say much on YouTube, but he might do something like that. Anyways, this video is 30 minutes and 32 minutes around there. I'm sorry for making it long. I do read your guys, you know, comments and stuff. I'm trying to make it every single day. I'm trying to make multiple videos a day. I'm going to start doing that as well, because I see you guys that like this. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to Fashion Royalty. Shout out to Shining Bear. That's one of my first people who commented on my videos and told me to go into depth into every single detail. Like I said, if you want me to go into in depth of any subject, whether it's 9/11, I know it's an old subject, or the Charlie situation, which I'll just give you a little spoiler. I'll give you a spoiler to the next thing. So if you look at Charlie Kirk, right, and if you see the Remembrance Day that they're giving him, so that's going to be on his birthday, which is the October 14. If you go from how many days is from 9/11 to his Remembrance Day, because 9/11 was also Remembrance Day, from Charlie Kirk. I didn't even type it in. We're gonna have to use a calculator on this one because it's not gonna show us. All right, bear with me. Okay, here we go. So if you check the month 9/11/2025 and go to his birthday, it's 33 days. Just like how the World Trade Center collapsed in 33 years. You see? And 11 is a powerful number because 11 is a master number. 22 is also a master number. 33 is the master teacher number. They're exactly 33 days from his birthday to 9/11. And that's why they didn't release anything until 9/11. You get it? That's how it works. That's exactly how it works. And that's pretty much it, guys. If there's more you want to see, like I said, any subject, I know you guys said you want me to go deeper. You got to be more specific to what you guys want to see, and I'll go into it. All right, guys? I don't know everything, and I know I don't know everything, but what I do know is that this is not a coincidence, because I've looked into this for years. And I'm talking about, yes, people used to call me crazy, just like this guy calls me schizo, whatever. I'm used to, it's fine. I don't get upset over this stuff. Like if you guys say, mean things like this, I don't care, because I know for a fact that I'm correct. That I know for a fact this is how they do it. You could say whatever you guys want, but it's 100% fact. Numbers don't lie. Numbers never lied. And if you, like, for example, Pythagoras, one of his main quotes is all is number. That's literally the belief that the entire universe and everything within it is fundamentally composed of and governed by numbers and their relationships. The entire world. If you look at how symbols are made or whatever, if you just look how symbols, any symbols, they're usually with numbers. A big one that I could talk to you guys about is pi. Pi is based off numbers. That's why Pi Day is on March 14 because of 3.14, right? But there's a reason. There's a reason. Also, July 22nd is Pi Day because when you divide it, 3 by 14, it's 227. Guys, there is so much into this that it's not even funny. It's not even funny. Like, it goes very deep, I'm telling you. Okay? So, anyways, don't discount something just because, like, you can't piece it together just yet. The message doesn't become so clear. Take your time and just pay attention to things around you. Pay attention to what people say. There's a reason why Hillary Clinton had 33,000 emails. There's a reason why those things happen. There's a reason why a lot of these stories usually around the number 33. If you want to see something, I'll make a video of the connections of 33 if that's what you guys want. Okay? There's a lot, and I'm talking about a lot of connections with 33. That has to do with us, with how we're, with even your keyboard. There's a code within your own keyboard that you're typing on, whether you're on phone or whatever the case may be. There is a code within your own keyboard that is 33, and that's by design. Why do you think the letters on the keyboard is not in alphabetical order? Just ask yourself that. Why do you think when you write the word 40 and when you write the word 4, you don't have a U in the word 40? It's F-O-R-T-Y, right? It's not F-O-U-R-T-Y. There's a reason, guys. There's an answer to all those things. It's esoteric. It's old knowledge that you will not comprehend. It's Latin, it's Greek, it's Hebrew. It's a lot of hidden meanings. Symbology that basically has been hidden from us because we go to school not learning about finances, not learning how banks works, not learning how basically symbols works, how the sun and the moon, etc. They give us basically fake information and fill our heads with bullshit so that you come out of school to just be another robot to their society. It's simple as that. It's simple as that. You are just another pawn in the chessboard. That's why they call it sheep. And by the way, the first clone that they ever made was a sheep. You get it? So the people that keep thinking that there's clones out there of different artists and etc., or different celebrities or big people, it's possible. I'm not saying it's not, but it is ironic how the first animal ever to ever be cloned was a sheep, which was Dolly the sheep. And that was the first successful clone from an adult cell born on July 5th, which is Dolly the sheep, like a doll. Get it, guys? I can also talk about why the number 6 is such a big number. 6 is probably one of the most important. Every number is important, but 6 is very important. I could talk about how the reason why Elon Musk is so obsessed with X, like obsessed with the letter X. And I can, that video I think would blow your mind. There is a reason for it. There's a reason why. Trust me, there is 100% a reason why. All right, guys? And I can explain all that. I could do that video for you guys. I'm just giving you guys some examples of maybe what you guys want. Maybe if you're thinking of something, whether, whatever the case may be. Like if you just look at these symbols down here, like this one right here is a spiral. There's a reason why this one is a spiral. There's a reason why the ChatGPT one looks like a flower of like the Fibonacci kind of. There's a reason for all this, guys. Trust me. If you look at basically a spiral, man, I don't want to go too far because I'll just make other videos about that. So I'll just like end it here. But I'll end it here, guys. There's a reason why the spiral is such a huge thing. If you look at the top of your head, it's literally a spiral. If you look at how a hurricane forms, it's a spiral. If you look at a seashell, it is a spiral. Why? Ask yourself that. Just ask yourself that. And you'll get to it. Why do you think the galaxies, is a spiral? Just think about it. You don't think it's not a coincidence. This is not a coincidence. The Firefox symbols kind of looks like this. The Google symbol is this. The Google symbol is right here. I mean, it's literally in the symbol is a spiral, plus it is 666 within the spiral as 3 colors, and each spiral is a 6. That is a 6, right? So right in the Chrome is 666. The first Apple computer ever made, price was 666. See? The original Apple I was first sold in July 1976 for 66666. Do you think that's a coincidence, guys? If you think that's a coincidence, then I guess I'm just crazy. And think about it. The apple, the forbidden fruit, the one that was bitten and basically created the first sin. 666. Sold. It's not a coincidence, guys. With over 60 chips. Not a coincidence. Trust me. Trust me. This is how it works. Anyways, this is almost an hour video. It's for almost 45 minutes. I made it as long as I could. Some people like these long video formats. Some people don't. That's why the second video I made was only 6 minutes. This one I made it longer. Let's see which one you guys like better. And I'll go towards, I guess, in parts. If you guys want it in parts. If it was too long, then I could do that for you too. I'm thinking about doing it in every 15 minutes, every 20 minutes, something like that. Or I could just do one hour long videos with whatever topic that you like. And I could just ramble on, kind of like how I did with this one, with 9/11, etc. And that's the thing. Like, you just have to be open-minded and just think outside the box, you know? Just understand that not everything is what it seems. All right? Anyways, guys, take care and much love. Take care. Peace.